the Dragon's Lair Trilogy bundle from Steam. The problem is, well, it's not a problem. I beat it on the default settings, mostly default settings, but then I was reading the Wikipedia article on Space Ace, and according to Wikipedia, you only get about half the scenes if you're playing it on Cadet difficulty, which is the default setting here, which is what I left it on. So I'm going to pump it back up to 5 lives. I'm leaving it on arcade cabinet off, so you have to play through the scenes sequentially instead of going to a random scene if you die. At least that's how the first Dragon's Lair game says it works. And I guess we have to set it on Ace, which sounds like the hardest one, if we want all the scenes. So I hope this doesn't mean like the inputs are harder, but I guess we'll find out.
There's Bor's ship.
So this first scene is quite long. Or is it? Oh no, it's not this scene. This one isn't too bad. Oh, maybe it is this one. No, it's not. I actually like this part right here because it feels like one of the few parts where the inputs are actually somewhat intuitive. Alright, so that scene isn't so long. I think it's not this one. Most of the scenes in this are not terribly long, like in Dragon's Lair 2, for instance, where they're super long. And the problem with that is that if you screw up an input, you have to restart from the start of the scene. So you have to redo all the inputs again, hoping not to screw up once you finally get back to the one that you screwed up on previously, or it's back to the beginning of the scene again. I like so. So now I'll have to start over on this flying sequence. Sigh. But at least I was able to get through Space Ace, at least on easy, because Dragon's Lair just crashed eventually and killed my autosave. So gave up on that one. And oh yeah, so this is flipped left right. Like what was on the left before is now on the right. Wikipedia did say that the game does do that. That's interesting. The first Dragon's Lair is annoying because you actually have to play through flipped versions of the scenes. You have to play through both, like the left-right version of a scene and the right-left version of a scene in Dragon's Lair. It's so silly. But yeah, Dragon's Lair eventually crashed and killed my autosave, and I didn't feel like trying it again from the beginning and hoping that it wouldn't do the same thing again. Dragon's Lair 2 has this sort of collecting treasures mechanic that I hadn't known that it has when I first started playing, and so when you get to the penultimate scene in Dragon's Lair 2. Oh, I hit the wrong input, but so Wikipedia also said that Space Ace has some games with, or some scenes with multiple options to progress, so I guess I just lucked out and hit one of the multiple options right there. So in theory, there's a short clip that would have been slightly different if I had hit the specified input. But yeah, Dragon's Lair 2, there's, from the looks of the UI it displayed, there's maybe like 10 or so treasures that you have to collect, and you do that by, apparently something in a scene will flash, some object at some point will flash momentarily, like for a split second, and in that time you have to hit probably a direction towards the item in order to quote-unquote collect it. And the problem is this little hint UI at the bottom that I'm basically just staring at in order to get through this game does not show those directions. So aside from one, which is a bow, which shows up in a otherwise fairly dead part of the animation, which is easy to see, aside from the bow, I didn't really see any of the treasures. I think at one point I completely accidentally collected another of the treasures. I think it was an hourglass, maybe. But yeah, the other, like, 8 or so, I have no idea where they were. I could read a fact or something, but it still wouldn't help me do the actual input. Oh my gosh, what is with me in this scene? It still wouldn't help me, like, know when to do the input and how. Oh my gosh, I gotta stop talking about that. Well, I think I've basically finished stumbling through my explanation of my excuse of why I quit Dragon's Lair 2, because I couldn't get all those treasures. So didn't get to see the final 2 scenes of Dragon's Lair 2. Hopefully, I didn't see anything about any sort of similar collecting mechanism in Space Ace here, so as long as it doesn't crash and kill my autosave, like Dragon's Lair 1 did, should be able to get through it on the hardest difficulty here. It doesn't seem like... And this is the only one of the 3 that had a difficulty setting. Oh, that's cool. Animation of those fingernails. Dragon's Lair 1 and 2 did not have a difficulty setting like this. But it doesn't seem to have made it so that, like, you have to do the inputs faster, at least not in this port. So that's good. So it's really just longer and more animation, which is basically what I want. I guess I just like this little hit the inputs mini-game that you basically play while all this zany stuff goes on around that you can't really even look at. Because you don't have... You can't take your... At least I can't take my eyeballs off the hint UI. Maybe if I played it like 100 times, I would eventually get to the point where I could look at some of the actual scene, but I don't think I'm gonna play it that much. I'm having an easier time with the energize hints. Some of the energize hints, when I played through on easy, seemed like you had to hit the input super duper fast. Maybe I haven't... Oh, this is one of those scenes where I did have that problem. Let's see how this goes. I did it, okay. And you can, like... Oh, no. You can, like, mash on an input and it doesn't fail you.
Beware your dark side.
So that's... nice. That one doesn't seem so hard now. I had trouble with that transform input. Ah, now I'm having trouble with that, though. I keep hitting the wrong thing. Why? Keep hitting fire. Like I want to shoot that guy. Okay, come on.
Beware your dark side.
I guess Ace's dark side is where he turns into this macho man who just can't resist macking on Kimmy with like bad pickup lines, basically thinking he's God's gift to Kimmy. Guess that hasn't happened yet. We'll see that, I think. This one has another transform sequence that bothered me. So you shoot here, and then I'm just gonna mash, because that one's real fast.
Dexter, you're late.
Call me Ace, huh? Hop on.
Thanks. I'll walk.
Yeah, here's where you max on her.
Ray is about to be fired at Earth.
Call me Ace, huh? Where's the ray located?
In the center of the complex.
After this really
Can you
awkward
get us in there?
Yes.
Lug nuts.
conversation.
Yes, he's geared for battle.
Let's say we shoot dwarf with his own infantory.
Why, yes.
Would say we have dinner tonight.
Get serious.
I am.
Make a run.
Watch out, dwarf, old buddy. Here we come.
Dexter! Call me Ace, huh?
I was speculating that Dragon's Lair 2 might have had a... Oh yeah, this one wasn't in the easy difficulty. Might have had a higher budget than Dragon's Lair 1 because it seemed to have more complex animation and more professional voice acting. Gosh. Also a far more extravagant script. But, in fact, Wikipedia, according to Wikipedia, the budget for Dragon's Lair 1 was $3 million, and the budget for 2 was less. It was $2.3 million, and that was 8 years later. So I was wrong, totally wrong about that. Dragon's Lair 2 had a smaller budget, but probably they had their process down a lot better, and so maybe they didn't have as prolonged a development. Whereas in Dragon's Lair 1, they probably were doing a lot of learning as they went, and they would have had to spend more time just working out their process. Probably ended up redoing a lot. I think I saw an interview with the creators who did say they had to throw out like half of the animation they did because it just didn't work in the actual game for Dragon's Lair 1. Which is kind of typical for game development, really. That you end up like, you know,
Come on. Use the aqua boom.
you're oh, this is a new scene though. Your schedule, the game takes twice as long to develop as you had thought because you know, half of the work you do
The morph control.
you have to redo for just because, you know, it just turned out not to be the best way to do it, or the way that would actually work in the context of your game, you know.
The morph control.
That's just how it goes, because games aren't rocket science exactly. Part of them is, the programming parts are highly technical and so forth, but, or they can be, but it's also an art form, and you just got to figure things out as you go. That's how it works. Unless you're just totally following a formula, but that means you're not gonna have it. You're just gonna have kind of a mediocre game doing the formula. Okay. I was cruising for losing there. I just was getting worse and worse on those inputs.
Morph control.
Okay, come on, Borf. Oh, come on. Oh, this is some fancy. Was that like 3D rendered almost? The maze there.
Come on. Use the aqua booms.
Use the aqua boots.
Black eel.
It's so weird that you have that oxygen thing flash on screen. Like, parts of this game feel very sort of just welded together, and like this one does feel like they just sort of had some scenes that weren't really worked out in clear sequence originally, and they just ended up just kind of grafting them together, just like whatever, just get it in there. Ooh. Oh man, this is totally Star Wars. Luke versus Darth Vader.
Take that.
Lightsaber battle. Ah! Oh, nice. That was actually a really cool death sequence. Like, I guess I'm missing a lot of cool death sequences because I haven't died in every single input, but I wonder if you pick the play, just like watch the game option, if it shows all the death sequences. Probably. Oh, whoa. Oh, come on. Oh, that must be from... I did miss that input like 2 inputs ago. So yeah, it obviously doesn't have a unique death scene for each input, because like in that one it waited 2 inputs to play the death scene. And I didn't understand that at first in like Dragon's Lair 1 or 2. Ah, what? I keep missing that one somehow. What the heck? I think maybe it's just really fast. I don't remember having trouble with that on easy. Maybe I didn't do... No, this scene is on the easy one. I love that giant sponge they land on. That is a weird cut right there. It seems like it repeats. Which way, which way? Okay, yeah, that is just a fast input. And... oh wait, that wasn't the... Ah! Stupid! It's like they just stuck her vocal line on repeat 3 times. Like it got stuck in the recording. Oh, why? I can't do this scene, man. The giggles. The giggles got him. Okay, come on. That way. This scene, it's the timings are a little like when you get to that fight scene, there's longer or shorter pauses between inputs, so it's hard to get a rhythm. And then also, it's one of those scenes where it feels like inputs could happen in any direction, and so you just gotta really be on your toes, and I'm not so good on my toes.
Dexter, the Infanta raised.
Take that. Run! Run! Take that.
Oh man, my eyes are bleeding because I don't want to blink and miss something. They're not bleeding literally, they're watering. think that's it, actually. So, I don't know about half the animation missing on easy. It did seem like there were a few more scenes, but it wasn't that different. Can I actually type in? Did it?